What's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live, the fun-filled live stream where I get to hang out with you awesome people, answer your questions, talk, do whatever we want to do. And yes, I did trim down the beard, in case you're wondering, before we just get that out of the way, clear that out, trimmed it down to make it short, probably maybe a little too short. I don't know if I like it this short. I don't know. I'm not sure. So, welcome to Chaos Live. So, awesome people that I saw were already in here. Let's actually get the music going, set the mood. Let me know if at some point the music gets too loud and I need to adjust the balance between my microphone and the audio. I think this song starts off really mellow, so you might not hear it right away. But what's up to, was it Edma? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. T-Dog 2000, Trace Patton, we got Cricket 533, Jacob, Walter, Eduardo, Jessica, I said Trace, Andrew Dalton, Stella, Lovable Xena, all of you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys were right on it, notification squad or whatever, and you guys were right in the chat. So, welcome. Glad you guys are here. We'll hang out. It's been a really busy weekend. I'm working the weekend so that I can have a little bit of a long Thanksgiving weekend. So, it's been busy. It's been very busy. So, what's up, everybody? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Eduardo? What's up, Russell? Canadian military is still in Afghanistan? I don't know. I'm not sure about the Canadian military. So, just a heads up, if you are brand new to Chaos Live, you've never attended Chaos Live, you've never seen any of the pre-made ones or whatever, then just leave your comment down in the chat, where it would be that way, I think, or something like that. Leave a comment or a question in the chat, and I'll try to answer it if I can. Sometimes the chat goes pretty quick, and I apologize. I'm not ignoring you. Just sometimes it gets pretty crazy, and I miss some stuff, and I can't get too far behind. Otherwise, I end up missing some stuff. So we'll try the best to get to the questions I can. If your question doesn't get answered, just make sure you come back maybe after the video's been processed and check out you know, the pre-post one or whatever, and leave your question in there, and maybe I can answer it there. So, how's everyone doing? Let's see. Chris, is there any chance I can have mod now? Yeah. All right. Let me make sure I select the right person, though. I suppose so. Just remember, though, T-Dog, with great responsibility, or with great power, comes great responsibility. All right? There you go. T-Dog has been made a moderator. You've been here quite often in the chat, so why not? What's happening, Jay the Vorn? What's up? How's everyone doing? I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. Is infantry basic harder than regular? Yeah, I would imagine it would be. It's more focused on the weapons, more focused on a lot of different things. So, yeah, I would say that if you're going to OSIT, it is going to be a little harder than just standard basic training. Love you to the moon and back to the Golden Valley. Well, thank you, Stella. Thank you very much. Anyone else pre-order Farming Simulator 19? Crazy enough, oh no, I didn't pre-order it, but crazy enough, that game is pretty fun. I don't think I've played 19. I don't know which one it was I played. I have one of them, and it was fun for a while. I played it for a good couple months or so. I don't remember how long it was, but I had a lot of fun playing it for a while, and then eventually it got a little bit old, and I eventually got kind of sick of it and kind of moved on, but yeah. Stopped working my drill press to watch this. Oh man, what are you making? What kind of projects you got going on over there, Mr. Walker? So, looking through, this land was made for you and me. What are you doing? You singing? Is that what you're doing? I was walking. I saw below me that you're still singing. What are you doing? Well, the news just came from the Department of Defense. The military will, sticking with the M4 carbine, Colt and FN have been giving $80 million contracts to make new ones. Yeah, they have a new 9mm they're replacing. They've been talking about that for a while. Do you recommend living on or off base? I would say off base, because if you do it right, sometimes you can profit a little bit off of it. And then you can make a little bit more money out of it if you do it right. So if you are able to go and, like, say you're making $2,000 in BAH, right, to live off post, then you can easily go and you know, maybe find a place to rent for maybe less than that and pocket a little bit of that. Where if you're living on base, you don't get that kind of luxury of being able to pocket any of that. So some people, it just depends, prefer to live off base, because if you work it properly, sometimes you can make a little bit of profit off of that, because you may not have to pay as much in rent as what you're getting paid in BH. So my friend said any job with the word combat in it is living hell. Is that true? No, I wouldn't say so. Combat medic, they have a great time. There's a lot of people I know that were combat medics that love that. Combat engineer, there's a lot of people that love being an engineer. So no, I wouldn't say that's necessarily true at all. Do you think US will go to war with Korea? Probably not now. I think things are pretty much mellowed out now. Gaming live stream, maybe this week. I don't know for sure. But there's some times where I might have an opportunity to do some gaming live streams in the middle of the week. So there might be some random, maybe like Wednesday night, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things kind of go. Let's see. What else do we get? Where is American military fighting today? I don't know if there's a lot of fighting really much going on. Most of the stuff like in Afghanistan right now, I mean, there might be a little bit of fighting stuff going on in Afghanistan, but I think most of the stuff going on in Afghanistan right now is training. So, Army officially going with the pinks and greens in a few years. Correct. I was going to do a video on it, but I don't know. I don't know if I was going to do a video on it. But because I kind of talked about before when it was still like a rumor, but now they kind of lightly mentioned it during Veterans Day that it is official. They are going to do it. They're just calling it's actually simply just called the greens. The originals were called pinks and greens, and that's kind of what they referred to them to let people know. But I believe they're officially just calling them the greens. But they're saying that like some people might start issuing them soon, but I don't think they're actually available to buy until 2020. They were saying. And they're also saying that it's not going to be mandatory until 2028. So it's fairly far out as far as being required to be worn, but we may start seeing it slowly phase in. I don't think they've even said how much they're going to cost yet. So it's tricky. It looks cool, but we'll see how things go. Do you ride a motorcycle? I used to. I used to have a motorcycle back when I was in the Army, and it got stolen. I came back to my apartment one day after getting off work early when I was going to go for a ride, and it was not in my parking space anymore. So, yeah, I don't ride anymore. I still have a motorcycle license on my driver's license, but I don't ride I haven't rode a motorcycle since then. Doug the Eliminator has a question. Chris, when you were in Korea, did you work with South Korean soldiers? Were you fluent? Were they fluent in English? Did you ever ask them how they feel about living next to North Korea? That's 3 questions in one, man. So when I was in Korea, yes, I worked with South Koreans. I was at the JSA, which was right on the border. A lot of the other southern bases worked with what was called Katusas, which were kind of a part of the United States Army. But the ROK soldiers, which was what we worked with, were actually Korean soldiers, not like kind of like augmentees of the United States Army. So they were a little bit different. And the soldiers that had to be stationed with us had to be really fluent in English. So several of those soldiers that were with us on the JSA had spent some time in the United States, maybe going to college, and they had to come back to Korea to serve their mandatory 2 years, because it's mandatory in Korea for males to serve in the military for 2 years between a certain age. Welcome to the Chaos Army. Night swag, if you're in here in the chat. So they spoke really good English. I don't think I ever asked them like how they felt about like being that close to North Korea. I don't know if they cared. I don't know. When to join the Army for 2019, I don't know what job to pick. I think about going infantry or helicopter repair. You know, you just got to kind of weigh your options. Try to find something that you're going to be interested in. It just depends. You know, if you plan on being one of those lifers that stays in the Army forever and then doing 20 plus years and retiring out of the Army, then you really got to find a good job that's going to make you happy for that long. Now, if you're just trying to kind of use it as a milestone, maybe you just want to spend 4 or 5 years, get that military experience, get out and go to college and then do something else, then maybe it's not quite as vital. I mean, it's still good because you don't want those 4 or 5 years to suck. But, you know, you just kind of have to weigh your options as far as how that goes. Have you ever met a Navy SEAL? Don't believe so. I'm trying to think. I don't think so. No. I don't believe I have. What made you join the Army and not the Marines or any of the other ones? Just the Army. I originally wanted to be a mechanic, and I knew the Army had a lot of vehicles, so it would have been more convenient. But I didn't end up doing that anyways. Okay, question. How do you get driven to the Army base? What do you mean? How do you get driven to the Army base? Not sure what you mean. You drive to the Army base. If you live on base, you're already on base. There's not usually a bus service or anything to take you on base, so you gotta have a car, you gotta catch a ride, or you gotta live on base. Let's see, I already said that one. What are pinks and greens? Pinks and greens, Logan, are the old school World War II, World War I, World War II era, I believe, Army uniform, and they're bringing them back. And is what they're going to be is basically a daily wear uniform. So if you, I heard somebody else saying it would be just no matter what, unless you were in the field or deployed, you'd wear the ACU uniform, and then if you're not deployed, then or in the field, then you'd have to wear the greens. But I believe, I thought I remember seeing somewhere that they said that it depends on kind of what you're doing on your day-to-day work. So if you're coming in to go to classes, to get some briefings, to work inside of an office or whatever, then you're probably gonna have to come into work in your greens. But if your daily task is gonna be to, you know, drive some trucks and work in the motor pool and work on some vehicles, then you're probably gonna be coming in ACUs. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I wanna say that's where I thought I heard. Is every soldier required to have a newer uniform? You have to have it serviceable. Usually, you know, if it gets too faded or it gets ripped in any way, you have to get a new one. Usually, soldiers issued 4, and then every year on their anniversary in the Army, they are giving a clothing allowance to replace them with new ones. And then a lot of times, like your supply will hook you up with uniforms, and you'll have extras. But yeah, you're gonna have to keep up with those. Adam, welcome to the Chaos Army if you're here in the live stream. What was one military school you wanted to try out for but never go to? For a while I was interested in air assault, but I never did it. I had thought about doing that, but then I got to a point in my Army career where I was just kind of looking to get out and move on with life. And I kind of lost motivation to want to try to do any of those schools, but I don't know. Air assault might have been cool. Never did any of those high-speed things. I just did a lot of the required ones that I had to do. Do you know if women can join the special ops? In some cases, yes. Not special forces, but you could do like psyops. And what's the other one? You could be in the Rangers. You wouldn't be in a combat type of. Well, you could now, I guess, because now they do allow females to be like 11 Bravos and tankers and all that stuff. And you could be in the Rangers, which Rangers isn't really special ops. I mean, it's kind of close to it. It's sort of special ops, but not officially in that category of special ops, I don't believe. But you could do psyops, which psyops does have females in psyops, and that's special ops. If a soldier breaks a bone, will they be discharged, or does it depend on the severity of it? I mean, if they broke their bone so bad that they're gonna be permanently screwed, then yeah, eventually you probably might get kicked out. Marcus, welcome to the Chaos Army. But otherwise, they're going to allow them to heal, and then you'll have a time period where it's called convalescent leave, where basically you're recovering from your injuries, and then go back to duty. But if it's going to be bad enough to where it's going to prevent you from being deployable, then yeah, it's going to eventually require that person to get chaptered out of the Army, discharged out of the Army, whatever it might be. Hey, Marcus, is it? It wasn't Marcus one of the ones I saw just subscribed recently? Did you unsubscribe and resubscribe, or are you really a new subscriber? What's your opinion on the new Army greens? I think they look cool. I was watching Matt Ward's video, and I kind of understand his opinion on it, where he doesn't really like it too much, because it could become a pain with, if it's going to be something where you have to wear all the time, you're going to have a couple pairs of the uniform, and you're going to probably have a couple different ribbons and medals, because you're not going to want to have to switch them around all the time, because that would be quite a pain. So it'd be best to have multiple, but I don't know if that's how it's going to work, though. I could have sworn, I could swear I thought I heard that it's going to be something where you would only wear it some of the time, unless you are someone who works in the office. Then yeah, you're gonna have to wear it all the time. But I like the look. I think it looks cool. I think it looks more professional. I get that, like, the more newer generation of Army soldiers who did not come in the Army having to shine your boots all the time don't like the idea that you're gonna have to shine these boots, you know, every morning. I'm used to that. I had to do that for the first almost the first 5 years, no, probably 4 years. First 4 years I was in the Army, I had to shine my boots, you know, and then we switched over to the digital pattern that had the different kind of boots that you didn't have to shine anymore. So I kind of get that, but that's how the old Army days were. So me being an older person that from those kind of days of the Army, I think I have a different perspective on it, where I remember the days of having to iron your uniform, having to get it starched, taking it to the cleaners, having to, you know, shine your boots to look very professional. And I kind of like the way the starched uniform looked with the nice creases in that uniform. And then when you went to the digital ones, they didn't want you to put starch in it because it can mess up some of the, was it infrared or whatever it was, kind of reflective material that was inside of it. So they didn't, you know, want you doing that anymore. But I don't know, I get it. I get it from certain different perspectives. The outer belt on the jacket looks awesome. It does. It looks pretty cool. I think it looks kind of neat. Do you get BAH, BAS, and family separation pay and basic training? No, I don't. Do you? I don't know for sure. I was single in basic training, so I wouldn't have any experience with that. But I don't remember. I don't know if soldiers were getting BAH. I don't think they were getting separation pay. I don't think you start getting that until you actually have gone to your first unit for them to put in for the paperwork for it. But you might still be getting BH and BAS. Well, no, you probably wouldn't be getting BAS because you're gonna be eating in the chow hall, so that you're gonna probably take that BAS away. I would imagine. Not 100% sure on that, and maybe getting BAH, but I'm not 100% sure on that answer. Do you know what okay back in the old day meant in the Army? I don't know. Do you know what okay meant back in the... I'm not sure what your question is, Stella. I'm sorry. Is there a chance a soldier can go airborne school and later on air assault? Yes, I have known people that have done both airborne and air assault, so that is possible. Definitely. If they brought back the M1 helmet, or what if they brought back the M1 helmet? The one worn by the soldiers from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, I think that'd be bad because I feel like the current helmet has more tech involved with it and more safety involved with it. So I think it would be better to keep the one we currently have. Provides more protection than the old school helmet did. With a high PT score, you could try and go for air assault and airborne. So they do usually have like higher PT standards that they want you to go by when you do those schools. So it's possible, yes. Are there any risks or danger when in airborne school? Oh yeah, of course. Still the risks of getting injured and all that kind of stuff. And if you get injured and it's not super bad, then you just get recycled and try again. But if it's really bad, then you have to, have you leave with a medical kind of, not a medical discharge. You're not getting kicked out of the Army or anything, but you're leaving airborne school and then maybe you can come back if it improves. Someone broke their hip at my AIT. He was sent home and he was chaptered out. Yeah, if you get seriously injured to where you're not going to be deployable, they're going to do either like a ELS, entry-level separation, a general discharge, something. They're not going to want to keep you around if you're not going to be useful to the Army. I mean, the point of being in the Army is to basically, defend the country. Fight wars and defend the country and all that stuff. And if you can't do that, they don't want to keep you around. That's how it goes. The steel pot was okay as long as you didn't dent it. Yeah, but yeah, it would not be very safe compared to the current ACH or mesh or whatever, I forget what it's called now. But the Kevlar, the current Kevlar helmet wouldn't stand up. Do you recommend living on, or I already answered that. I would recommend living on base or off base. Recommend living off base, probably in my opinion, because you can probably get rent for hopefully cheaper than what they're paying you in BAH and pocket a little bit extra money. Gotta go. Well, thanks for hanging out, Jacob. Thanks for joining Chaos Live. If you could do any MOS, what job would you want to do? I've mentioned this before, like in other live streams. People have asked me, like, if I could go back, or if I wanted to go back, what MOS would I do? I don't remember. I should memorize it by now. I've said it so many times that I would do this MOS, and I don't remember the number, the actual MOS of what it is. But they have a MOS in the Army, the Marines, and the Air Force, and even the Navy to do things like being on TV and on the radio. And I would probably be interested in doing something like that. But I never put in the effort to go and look it up to see what the MOS is. I think someone one time said what it was in the chat. I was like, oh, that's this MOS. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, there you go. And I didn't remember it, and I haven't gone back to look at it. But there's an MOS to be able to do, like, be on the TV and be on the radio and do videos and create stuff like that for the AFN network, the Armed Forces Network. And that would probably be kind of fun. The pinks and greens should go with the Garrison cap and not the ugly cover that was shown in the pictures. The one picture I saw, it might have been just officers though, but it was like the old school, like officer one that sometimes you'd wear with the blues, and those look kind of cool. But they should probably do it. Well, if it's gonna be a daily wear uniform where you're gonna wear it all the time, like you probably wouldn't want to have like the camouflage hat or a plain version of it. I don't know, it would be good. Some people I've seen, they said that they hope that they would do the beret. The beret would look okay, but then it goes back to the not that long ago, but not too long ago when it used to be the beret all the time being worn, and it was kind of a pain. I don't know what would be a good headgear for the greens. My brother gets to come home on December 15th as a 35 Fox. Well, awesome. That's cool, T-Dog. Hopefully everything went well. Get some good family time in. Do you know any MOS with three-year contracts? I don't know if it's specifically MOS specific. Well, it might be MOS specific, but I don't know off the top of my head. Those are special scenarios where you do 3-year contracts. They're a little harder to find than like your normal 4-year contracts and 5-year contracts, but they exist. I think, what did I say? I did a video recently where we talked about how long you can be in the Army and all that stuff, and I think did I say the shortest one was 2 years or 3 years? I don't remember what it was, but it's a very specific circumstance and kind of difficult sometimes to get. What do you think of the new Army ammo? There's new Army ammo? I didn't know there was new Army ammo. So I don't have an opinion, I guess, on it then. Can people through military sessions, the national interest become, I don't even know what that is. To the national interest become, I don't know. I have no idea what the answer to that. Hate us. Do you know much about the Australian Army? I don't know anything about the Australian Army. I was in the United States Army, so I know quite a few things about the United States Army, but not other countries' military, no. T-Dog, is the MOS 46 Romeo? I don't know. I could look it up. 46 Romeo? Let's find out. Let's find out together. If that is what that job is that I would probably do. I gotta put MOS in that. MOS. Public Affairs Broadcast Specialist? Yeah, that'd probably be it. So, there you go. If I get asked that question again and I don't remember 46 Romeo, please, somebody remind me in the live chat, because there's probably a good chance that I will forget it again. But a 46 Romeo is the people that do the television, the radio stuff, and I think that'd be kind of fun. But I wouldn't go back now. It's too late for me now. I mean, it's not too late for me now, but I don't have the interest in going back now. I like doing this. I like doing my civilian job. I like living the civilian life. I'm too used to it now to go back to the Army ways now. I've been spoiled with the civilian ways. While you were in, were you ever involved or seen a barracks brawl? Yeah, there's probably been some stuff, people getting drunk and stuff in the barracks, and a little fight breaks out and they end up buddies later in the end. So yeah, I think there's been maybe a couple, nothing too crazy, no big riots where the entire barracks are rioting against each other and having turf wars or anything crazy. The National Guard has some 3-year contracts. Good to know. So there you go. Which is better, full-time Army or National Guard? The answer I usually give to people with this, especially like either National Guard or Reserves as well, if you're trying to decide if you want to go full-time or if you want to go reserves or National Guard. If you have a really good civilian job or you're really busy with civilian life and you only want to do the Army part-time, then you got to go reserves, you got to go National Guard, and kind of go that way, because you don't want to sacrifice maybe a great job that you already have that you're working your way up through. But if you don't have anything and you don't have a great job, maybe you just got some normal job that isn't really doing it for you, or you're fresh out of high school and you don't have anything lined up, then maybe full-time is better for you. So it just depends on your situations, I think. I'm Australian, just turned 19 and curious about serving. Have you got any idea about Australian service? I already said this. I do not. I have no idea. I don't even know if I've ever met anybody in the Australian Army. Maybe like 1 or 2 people, maybe. Not enough to know anything about the Australian Army, though. So, the 6.5 is replacing the 5.56. Interesting. We'll have to look at that, I guess. How old are you supposed to be to join the Army? To what age? The lowest age to the highest age? You can join at the age of 17 would be the minimum. You're gonna have to get like a parent to sign off on it though, and you also are gonna have to be within a time frame to where before you're gonna graduate from all your training, your basic training and AIT, you're gonna turn 18 before you go to your first unit. So you can't like just be going to basic training just right when you turn 17. You're probably gonna have to be like 17 and a half or so before you can do it. That's pretty much the youngest you could probably join the Army at. If you join at the age of 17, do you need to turn 18 before you graduate? Yeah, so that's basically what I was just talking about. Is you're gonna have to turn 18 before you're gonna graduate. That's the only way you can usually join at 17. Is being an 88 mic easy or difficult? Just depends on the situations. There's some times where it's pretty easy, sometimes where it's a little bit of a pain, especially like when you're dealing with ammunition, where it can be quite a pain. Sometimes on deployments were long nights where you're working all night into the morning and then getting a little bit of rest and then having to go to the motor pool and do stuff. So there are times when it was super easy and times when it was difficult, so it's hard to say as a whole. When you are retired, the United States Armed Forces, do you have to wear your uniform for Veterans Day? You don't. You can choose to if you wish. As a veteran, you're allowed to, well, now since they got rid of the whole, like, stolen valor thing and a lot of other certain things, you can really wear whatever the hell you want, but they don't really want, like, veterans wearing uniforms if you're no longer in the military. But if you were retired and you're going to some kind of special ceremony, a funeral, a wedding, or whatever, then they, say that, hey, it's fine. But technically, you could probably still wear it regardless anyways. But you don't have to wear it for Veterans Day or nothing crazy like that. Nobody's going to force you. My live stream's still titled Veterans Day. Good catch, Jay the Vorn. Man, I got to fix that right now. Can't believe that. Oh, it's up here. I got to fix it up here. That was a good catch. I was not paying attention to that, so I forgot to change the title of the live stream. So we're going to do that on the fly right now because I forgot to do that at the beginning. What is today? Today's the 11th. 11 November 2018. There we go. Thank you for that. Otherwise, not too big of a deal. I probably would have caught it later, I guess. Should eventually update to that new one, I think. So eventually the title should change to the date. I don't know how long it takes to kind of go through that process change. It might not change during the live stream. It might change later for new people if you refreshed the browser or something like that, maybe. I don't know. But thanks, Jay the Born. Chris, this week the Army decides to bring back into use the World War II era bazooka. I don't know about that. I didn't hear anything about that. That wouldn't be a good idea. That'd be a horrible idea. We got way better technology than the old World War II bazooka compared to that technology, compared to what we have now for like the AT-4 or the Javelin. I think that would be a bad idea. First they bring back the uniform, now weaponry. I don't think they're bringing back the World War II bazooka. I think that'd be a bad idea. Is drinking completely prohibited when in the military? No. If you're 21, you can drink. You're not supposed to do it in uniform. There are some locations that kind of let you get away with that in very few situations, but for the most part, you're not supposed to be going out like in uniform getting drunk. But if you're off duty, you're not on duty, and you're over the age of 21, then they don't really care, as long as you. I mean, they want you to do it, you know, safely. They don't want you to be like over drinking or anything crazy. I did an airborne jump with Australian soldiers. Very nice guys. They didn't even mind me laughing at their accent. Well, nice. Good deal. Trying to look to see how. Okay, we've been going for about 31 minutes. So we're about halfway into Chaos Live. If you're new, never been to Chaos Live, I usually only do these for an hour. But if we get to 50,000 subscribers, we'll do a special 2-hour episode. We'll hang out for 2 hours if you want to do that. And then I'm working on some things for maybe 100,000 subscribers. That's still a ways away. I still got a long ways to go before I even get too close to 100,000 subscribers. But I got some ideas for something fun when we get closer, which might be a while, but we'll see. I don't know. Doug has a question. When you did your ETS, was your last stop the separation transfer point? No, it would have been final out. So that's done at what's the name of the building? I remember seeing. I forgot about that. I think you asked me that question on a video, and I was going to reply to it, and then I forgot. I think I got busy and then forgot all about it. But that might have been like an old term for it, and now it's out processing is what it's called, and it's just basically a building where you go to out process, and that's finaling out and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's called the same thing. Which two individuals held the highest rank in the Army? Hint: one is from the 18th century, and the other is from the 20th century. We're trying to do trivia now? Is that what we're trying to do? Did anybody answer it already in the comments? There you go. I see the answer right now. Oh, you already answered it. But that's what I was going to say. George Washington would have been the original one. And then Blackjack Pershing, which then they backed. Well, I guess, was it Pershing got it first, but then they realized that by doing that, it made Pershing outrank Washington. So then they had to backdate it and was it postpartumly? I forget what the word is. Promote Washington so that it made it to where he would be the highest ranking because he would have been promoted to that rank before Pershing was. So, yeah. One more question before I leave. What happens when a soldier is caught drinking underage? Probably in Article 15, possibly. It depends on what the leadership wants to do. If the leadership just wants to give them counseling and tell them, hey, don't let this happen again, or if they want to get them to Article 15 and maybe take some rank or fine them or make them do some extra duty. It just kind of depends on the leadership and what they do. You wouldn't get kicked out of the Army for something like that unless you were something who was repeatedly just racking up a bunch of, problems, and on top of it you were underage drinking and getting in fights and all sorts of other things. Then maybe eventually that could lead to getting kicked out of the Army. But if you're just simply underage drinking, they're probably just gonna, like I said, either counsel you, maybe give you Article 15 and fine you and knock you down in rank. Are cigarettes frowned upon? They don't encourage it. I would say that. They used to, back in the old days, like before my Army times, they used to have cigarettes inside of MREs. But that encouraged smoking, so they got rid of that. Why can't you do specific things in an Army suit? It's for professional things. So they don't want you doing certain things in an Army uniform because it doesn't look very professional to the Army. They want to, keep that professionalism and keep that image that soldiers are professional, which, to be honest, there are some, guys who aren't professional, just like the real world. Soldiers aren't perfect. There are some great soldiers and some really bad soldiers that maybe have issues or whatever, right? But, overall, they try to do whatever they can to make sure people are maintaining a professional image and looking a certain way, and they don't want, soldiers to be stumbling around drunk in uniform and doing a lot of other things in uniform and giving the Army a bad name. So that's usually why. Chris, did you know that Veterans Day was last week? Yeah, I changed the name. It's changed now. Should be, like, on my screen I see that it says 11 November, but yeah, I forgot about that. Jay the Vorn reminded me a minute ago. Paul, what's happening? I've been wondering, what should I do if I'm asking to find the grid squares? Should I tell them I know they're fake, or should I pretend to go find them. No, just bust them out. They'll laugh about it and be like, "Ah, dang it, we didn't get this guy." And then they'll probably know that they can't screw with you, because if they catch you, they get you, they ask you to find some grid squares, which a grid square is usually a 1K by 1K area on a map. You're not going to go find grid squares. It's something, an object on a map. But if you fall for it and go do it, then they're going to screw with you more, because they're like, "Hey, we got this dude with the grid squares last time. I bet you we can get him with something else." But if you are like, "Come on, guys, I know what a grid square is," then they're going to be like, "Okay, let's go mess with one of the other new guys instead." So, yeah, I would say just bust them out on it. You'd be all right. Jeremy, welcome to the Chaos Army if you're here in the live stream. How's it going? People have been caught drinking, smoking, and dipping in AIT. You can be day 1 restarted or Article 15. Yeah, that can happen. It just depends on the leadership, what they want to do. Chris, the United States Army is bringing... Oh, we already talked about this, didn't we? Didn't you already say that they're bringing back the bazooka, which I don't think is a true thing? If you get caught in a fight with someone in the Army, do you get kicked out of the Army even though you didn't start the fight? Regardless, you're probably not going to get kicked out of the Army right away for fighting with someone. Now, maybe it depends on who it is you're fighting with. If you're some private and you are trying to pick a fight and you actually got in a fist fight with like a company commander, sergeant major, something like that, maybe they could fry the hell out of you. You're probably still going to just get Article 15 and get busted down and have some problems. Maybe possibly have to serve a little bit of jail time. Maybe not get kicked out of the Army, but maybe have to spend a couple days in jail, but not bad enough to get kicked out of the Army. But you probably won't get kicked out of the Army for fighting. It's probably going to take several fights with someone before they're going to be like, "Hey, this guy's a problem. We just need to get rid of him." Is that Breaking Benjamin's playing in the background? Awesome stuff. It is not. It is just a mixture of royalty-free songs that I get through a service that I pay for to be able to use music on YouTube. So it is not Breaking Benjamin's. It's not anybody that would be on the radio. It's these people, I think they're out of Sweden or something like that, the company is, and a lot of the music is made by people that work for this company in Sweden, and they compose these songs together for the subscribers of that service to be able to utilize. And so that's what it is, not something you're going to find on the radio. And that goes the same for any of my songs and any of my videos. The intros, the background music, all that stuff is all from that same service. It's not going to be songs you're going to find on the radio. But yeah, I like the rock style, so I usually go to the rock section of that site to find those kind of songs. Hey, I'm here. I am so sorry. Had to clean my complete mess. Hey, not a problem. Welcome to Chaos Live. Off topic, I got a new dog a couple of days ago. It's an Australian cattle dog, Blue Heeler. Awesome, Andrew. Dogs are cool. I like dogs. I have 2 of them. Google News is where you read it about the bazooka. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about that. Just hearing that, though, I mean, maybe it's true. I don't know. Maybe it is true that the Army wants to bring back some old school bazooka with maybe some modifications or whatever. I don't know. But just hearing that, it sounds like a really bad idea. It sounds like the current, rockets and stuff that we use nowadays has much better technology than something from back then. Especially like when you look at the Javelin and you look at the Stinger and the tow missiles and all those. I don't feel like an old World War II, World War I bazooka is going to compare to any of those that are, laser guided and, have way better projectiles and all sorts of stuff. Grid squares were almost as good as a can of track tension. Yeah, there's a lot of them you can get people with. I think the exhaust sample was my favorite one for messing with the new people and having a little fun. How many years did you serve in the Army, and would you want to go back to the Army? How old were you when you started? I did a little over 10 years in the Army. I would not want to go back to the Army because I enjoy the civilian life now. And I was 19. I was 19 years old when I joined the Army. The chem light batteries and the blinker fluid, yeah, those are good ones too. I remember getting some people with blinker fluids. I think I even got a new soldier with spare tire fluid. I think I just made that one up. I don't think that was like one that was cycling around between generations. I think I just made that stuff up. I was like, hey, did you check the spare tire fluid? And then someone fell for that, and it was like, oh my god, come on now. I shined my old combat boots every morning before school just to respect them. Well, that's pretty awesome. I don't even think I have any of my old black ones. I think all my old black ones have probably been thrown away. I have some of my newer boots. I have some brand new ones still because I have a few pair of those, and I just kind of have them off in a closet somewhere just in case I want to use them for something. But for the most part, I don't have my black ones anymore, and I definitely don't shine them though. But that's cool. Do any Army units still use the M1911 instead of the Beretta 9mm? I doubt it. I would not. Even pretty soon, they're probably going to stop using the Beretta 9mm because they have that new one, the 45 or whatever it is. I don't remember the nomenclature of it, but eventually the Beretta is going to go away. I don't know how long it's going to take before that kind of phases out, but that's in the process currently. Krista's title is still wrong. It is 18 November. Oh, why did I put 11? Man. Eventually, I will get this right with the title. If you're watching this like after it was live and it's no longer live anymore, you have no idea what I'm talking about because you've always been seeing the hopefully correct title. But for you guys that are currently in the live stream, you have seen all these mess ups of the title. I was not well enough prepared, I guess. So now, eventually, it'll update and it'll say 18 November. I remember to do the thumbnail though. The thumbnail was changed to the correct number of what it was, 28, 29, whatever this one is. Since I started counting, anyways, there might be more than that many live streams, but that's just since I started counting and kind of put that as a thumbnail. Are Marines smarter than soldiers? I don't know. As a whole, I don't know. You're going to have individuals. I don't think just because you're in a particular branch, you're smarter than other people. You're going to have people that are geniuses in the Air Force, people that are geniuses in the Army, the Navy, the Marines. As a whole, I don't know. I don't think that you could really compare it that way. Messed up the title twice now, I know. It's sad. It's horrible. Should be good now, though. I see on my screen it says 18, though. Yeah, so we're good, right? Today's the 18th, right? All right, just making sure. Yeah, it's 18th. Should be good. And it is November, and it is still 2018. Okay, I think we're okay this time. How about we go back to sticks and stones? That'd be rough. You'd probably have a lot less casualties, though. You were young, and was it very scary when you had to fight? I don't know if I don't really feel like it was scary like going to like Iraq. It was very like, unknown. You were very on edge, but I don't really feel like it was scary. It was a little bit nerve-wracking at times where you felt nervous, but I don't think I ever really felt scared really. I think more nervous, more unsure about things at times. Gotta leave soon, sorry. Well, it's okay. I appreciate you hanging out for this long, Stella. And thanks for joining in. If you want to come back and watch it after it's been live, then you can always catch up and see what you missed. See if you missed anything amazing. Like me screwing up the title again or something. I don't know. How do I join ROTC in my high school? Your high school's got to have the program. Like my high school in my small town in California did not have an ROTC. Or JR, it's actually junior, so it's JROTC. They didn't have that program. So it's just a matter of if your high school even has the program. If your high school has the program, you just got to ask like your career counselor or something and see about getting into it. If you do the whole like 4 years, I think, in high school of JROTC and then join the Army, you'll probably get to come into the Army as a private first class, as an E3, and jump rank a little bit. Kiwi shoe polish must have been that soldiers will have to shine those new boots again. Yeah, Kiwi's probably excited about that. They're going to make some big money again. It depends, I guess, on how often they wear it, though. The SIG P320, I think that is the name of the sidearm that's going to replace the Beretta, but I don't remember for sure. There's lyrics. You know what? Holy moly! Man, that's gonna suck if that get picked up. We're gonna stop the music because I have the wrong playlist going. It started playing other stuff. So earlier, whoever it was that asked if that was Breaking Benjamins in the background, it apparently was Breaking Benjamins in the background. It should not have been because I had a playlist loaded up with some other music. But it was Breaking Benjamins. If YouTube catches that, no monetization on this video, but not a big deal. These videos don't make really any money anyways, but I didn't realize that was going on in the background. Man, oh man. I don't feel like this live stream is falling apart. It's falling apart, guys. Title was wrong. Music was wrong. What next? What next? You can still hear me, right? The microphone hasn't like died. The camera's still working so far. Oh man. All right, we're gonna survive. We're gonna get through this. We're at 46 minutes. We got about 15, 20 minutes to go. Were you worried about the IEDs, and have you ever experienced it as an 88 mic? I never had any encounters with IEDs. The closest we had was on a mission. There was an IED ahead of us that EOD was clearing that someone else found, and we had to wait for them to dispose of it before moving on. But otherwise, I didn't have any actual experiences with it. And then some of the guys in like my platoon, they had I remember one particular one while I was in Iraq the first time, they got hit by an IED, but it just damaged the vehicle. There was no injuries to the soldiers or anything like that. It put a bunch of holes in the hood and it flattened their tire, but everybody was good to go afterwards. So no serious issues or anything from that. Let's see, are Marines smarter than, we already talked about this, didn't we? One word crayons. Yeah. There's some good Marines. I know some people that were Marines, and they're pretty cool people. I don't have anything against Marines. How long does it take to get ranked up in the Army? It just depends. Different ranks have different kind of levels. I briefly talk about that in my old school video from last year where I talk about rank in the Army, and it kind of talks about that. I just see one of your previous comments. Jay the Vorn, 2 mistakes on the title. What are you drinking, Sergeant Chaos? I'm drinking Gatorade. Gatorade is what I'm drinking. You know what? This music thing's bugging me, though. I don't like not having music going a little bit in the background. We got to at least get one of the songs going or something. Let's do that. We'll get this first one. And it should just play this one over and over again, which is fine because I like this one. This one sounds cool. So there we go. Not so silent. If YouTube doesn't already demonetize me for playing Breaking Benjamins. Let's see. Do you pay for your first haircut in basic training? No, it's a free one. All the haircuts, I think I'm pretty sure all the haircuts when you're in basic training were free. If I remember correctly. I don't remember for sure. That was a long time ago. I did it in 1999, so things might have changed since then. Maybe they take it out of your paycheck. I don't know. What were the rules for carrying personal weapons in a war zone? Tomahawks, knives, brass knuckles, etc. We'll dive a little bit deeper into that on Tuesday. That's part of 2 Minute Tuesday's video, so we won't spoil it now. Just make sure to tune in for 2 Minute Tuesday, and you'll find out. If you have a stroke with little... what do you mean? I lost my place. If you have a stroke, could you still get into the military? I guess it depends on your health conditions. Little defects, yeah. It just depends, I think, on what your condition is after that. If you can still function properly, just because you had a stroke at some point in your life doesn't necessarily rule you out. But if there are some medical defects or some medical things from that, then it could possibly. I have to head out. See you later, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out, Andrew. See you next time then. We got about 10 more minutes left in the live stream before we're going to cut it off, guys. So make sure if you have a question, you leave it down in the chat. Also, if you've been here hanging out and you're enjoying the live stream, having a good time, answering your questions or just listening to the questions, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. See, we've only got 13 right now. Let's see if we can't get that closer to 20 maybe before, long here. I don't know. Who knows? I'm just saying. Hey, Chris, signed up to take the ASVAB at my school in December. Anything you can tell me? Just study for it. I would recommend. There's a lot of places online where you can do like free little online practice tests. I would try to do a lot of practice tests if you can. It'll help you out and probably get you to understand what to expect. If you have an MOS in mind, I would look at the ASVAB kind of requirements for that MOS. There's usually a particular section of that ASVAB that will qualify you maybe for the MOS that you want to do, and see what sections are going to be very important for you to score high in, and make sure maybe you do a little extra studying in those areas. That way you can score high enough in that section to get the MOS that you want to get. But overall, you really just want to try your best, so that way you have a lot of options available to you. But that's the best thing I could say, is look online. You can easily just do a Google search for, like, you know, study ASVAB, or free ASVAB study guide, or practice test, ASVAB practice test, and then do that, and that'll help out a lot. Moonshine still in the chow hall, morale boost, good idea, right? I'm pretty sure there's no there is no moonshine. There's no alcohol whatsoever in the chow hall. That would not be a thing. Can Special Forces choose their own sidearms? No, they're still gonna be probably issued ones. They probably get some cool high-speed stuff though, and certain sections. I'm sure they have a little bit. I don't know for sure. I'm sure they have a little bit of kind of customization to them, but I don't know to what extent. So I couldn't tell you for sure. ACU wear out date is 1 October 2019. It is. Saw a few people just the other day. They were wearing the old ACU uniform, the old pattern. And I was like, I thought the wear out date was this year, and then I had to look it up, and I saw it was next year. Does anyone know how many years that the Army used the Class A dress green uniform for? A long time? I don't know. I don't know an exact time frame how long they were using it for, all the way up until, was it 2010, 2009, before they switched to the blues. It was right around the time I was getting out. They were starting to phase it in there, and then they eventually completely got rid of it. You had a certain date, a wear out date, but I don't remember when that date was. But yeah, I don't know how long it was. Gotta hit the hay. Keep up the great work with the channel, Chris. Well, thanks, Jacob. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Does any form of drug use auto disqualify you from an initial security clearance? No, I wouldn't say so. Because you can still get into the Army with a waiver. You know, if you had like marijuana use, certain harder drugs might, but I wouldn't say guaranteed that it is going to auto disqualify a security clearance. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I wouldn't imagine like some minor ones. Is that a new Chaos hat? It is not really a new one. It's still part of the same ones. So I'm also, if you didn't know, I have a vlog channel that I've been trying to get back into to start utilizing. And I vlogged a little bit of behind the scenes before we started this live stream. I actually talked about that with the hats, where I actually have 2 of these hats, one that I wear and one that's only for video use. So if you want to see a little bit of that behind the scenes, make sure to subscribe to my vlog channel, youtube.com/ThatChrisChaos. If you also go to my channel, it's in the links for the channels to check out or whatever, or my channels and friends' channels or whatever. And then that'll be a behind the scenes thing. But yeah, this particular one is my video only Chaos hat, and I don't have them for sale. They were a special tour thing where a few of you, maybe if you're in here, I don't know, have this hat, because on that Chaos tour that I did a drawing for the people that were coming to this different cities. I gave one away in LA, and I gave one away in Denver. Dallas was a really bad turnout. We had one individual show up, which was cool because it was great hanging out with, oh God, I can't remember your name, buddy. I can't remember now. But I had a great time hanging out with the individual. He was prior service Army guy, but he wasn't interested in a Chaos hat, so he didn't want the Chaos hat. So I have one extra that I have that I might save for like a little giveaway at some point in time. But for the most part, they're not something available like in a store or anything like that. Can you own your own guns in the Army? You can, and I will elaborate more on that in the next episode of 2 Minute Tuesday. So make sure to check that out. This is off topic, but how many days until Thanksgiving? I know I should know this. I don't know. I could ask Siri. I mean, just ask Siri probably if you have an iPhone or something. How many days until Thanksgiving? You want to try that? We can try that if you want. Hey Siri, How many days until Thanksgiving?
It's 4 days until then.
4 days? That's it? Oh, that's right. It's just right around the corner. I'm losing track of time, guys, because I was working the weekend, so I don't freaking even remember what day it is. It's hard to even realize that it's Sunday. So it's 4 days. 4 days to Thanksgiving. Is it, let's see, was it Hooch 1980? Welcome to the Chaos Army if you are here in the live chat. I hated the Class A greens. They look okay. That's what I got back there. I need to fix something because it gets a lot of glare from the lights. So I might have to make some adjustments to the studio design that I've got going on. Maybe take out the little plastic that's there on the uniform so it doesn't create so much reflection in there. But that's my old green uniform. I have my blue uniform because I had a dress blue uniform. But that one's just hanging up, I think, in the laundry room. It doesn't even have any of the medals on it. But this was the primary one I was using, so that's the one I kept and put in the frame. But I didn't mind too much. I did like the blues better than the greens, though, however. Good evening, soldier. Well, thank you, Joe. Good evening to you, Joe. Joshua says, hey, what's up? What's up? Thanks for answering my question, dude. Peace out. Well, no problem, Ray. Anytime. I was trying to plug your Chaos store with the hat. You were trying to like lead me into plugging the Chaos store? Well, okay. Well, everybody, if you are interested in a Chaos t-shirt like this one, or any other Chaos t-shirt, but not the hat, because the hats are not available, you can head over to ChristopherChaos.com/store. And you can check out any of these awesome t-shirts, like this camouflage t-shirt that has the Chaos logo on it, or this standard black one with the Chaos logo, or these hoodies, or I guess still have the Chaos Live shirt on. I probably need to take that one down. Or any of these other ones that are in here, as well as onesies and toddler ones, and even a nice, I have a girl's version. I mean, it can be used for a guy too, it doesn't really matter, but there is a, where'd it go? Is this one right here? Yeah, I have a female kind of version of the Chaos logo that's got a nice little pretty bow on the skull. So if any of the ladies out there, or any guys, I don't care. That was the kids version though. There's an adult one around here somewhere. Somewhere's on here there's an adult one. So if you're an adult, you can get the adult size one. And then coffee mugs and all sorts of stuff. But I might be at some point switching to Amazon for the store. I'm gonna try out their products and see how they look, but it might make it easier for some individuals if they are interested in getting a t-shirt to get it through Amazon. Maybe it's more trusted than just, this is what Spreadshirt I think I use for right now to do it. Yeah, Spreadshirt.com to create them. So I don't know, it might be switching at some point in time. There's also Patreon. There's a few people on the Patreon, but if you want some extra perks, I am going to be adding a $1 perk at one point in time for people who just want to kind of donate and maybe have a few little perks. But then the little $5 perk is the main one that has all the big stuff to it. But if you're interested in that, patreon.com/ChristopherChaos as well. Those links are also available down in the description and on my channel and everything as well too. So, but yeah, at some point I might switch to the to Amazon for shirts. We'll see. I have it. I got mine with the coin flip. Yeah, you got your Chaos hat, and then I got these cool coins I had for Patreon members that came to the meetup. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I like this coin. Let me see. Let me actually get it right side up. Actually, let me give you this one. This one here doesn't have a case in it, so it'll look a little bit easier to see. So you have this cool heads. If you can see it, let's see. This cool heads we win, and on the back side, it's got tails you lose, and then also on the front, it's got the year the army was kind of like founded or started or whatever. However you want to word it. I have 2 more of those coins that I might give away at some point in time. I don't know. There's cool coins that I had gotten. I might at some point do custom Chaos coins. We'll see. I don't know though. There was a comment I saw that I was going to address. Where was it at? Where did my mouse go? See, that's the problem with having 4 monitors. Sometimes you lose track of your mouse. Can you have a side job in the Army? Sometimes, if you get it approved. You're gonna have to get it approved. There was some people I knew that had like little part-time jobs on the weekends or a few days a week once in a while. There's also nowadays a lot of soldiers that'll do like Uber or Lyft on the side, and usually you just have to get that stuff approved by your commander. but usually, a lot of times you can. The Uber and Lyft would probably be easier to do, though. Hey Chris, leave for basic in February. I've been running and doing high reps of push-ups and sit-ups. Will it be adventurous for me to still do my regular powerlifting routine as well for strength? I don't think it would hurt. The biggest thing is cardio with it being in the military. You know, you got to have a really good cardio to be able to run, because you do a lot of running, you do a lot of road marches and hiking and all that kind of stuff. So I always recommend cardio a lot. The blues are much better. Great uniform. I like the way they look. I think they look pretty cool. You're so informative. I have a question way off topic, but how do you make your background and the screen things? That would take a long time to explain. I use a software called OBS, and then some of the stuff is designed in Photoshop and a lot of other stuff. It's a long explanation that I can't do now. Hey Chris, first time here, was watching some of your old videos. Well, thanks, Chris. You have an awesome name, and I really like it. So thank you. Please notice me. I notice you. I answered one of your questions earlier. But it feels weird saying your screen name, so I don't say your screen name. I'm just gonna call you Up. It's not like you have a bad word in your name, but it feels weird saying that and addressing you that way. So I'm just gonna call you Mr. Up. Mr. Up, I notice you. I see you. Hey Chris, I've been talking to a recruiter, but I'm trying to get input from other people on what they think of being an MP in the Army, and if you some of the things they do. Well, they do a lot of stuff that police people do. It's hard to kind of, you know, give a good explanation of it. Not always though. They're not always doing patrol stuff. Sometimes they're doing other training. Sometimes they're working the gates. Sometimes they're doing different things. So I've known a couple of people that were MPs in the Army, but I don't have all the answers for you. But I've known quite a few people that have, you know, I've had like a lot of soldiers too that I've trained that were MPs. So it just depends. What's your opinion on the Navy SEALs? They're cool, high speed, very hardcore. I have no issues. Also, do you think 31 Delta would transfer to CID police? I don't know. I am not really sure, because anybody can sign up. Like in the Army, they have CID, and you can volunteer for CID, and you don't have to be like an MP or anything like that in the Army to do CID, and that doesn't. So that's sometimes helpful. So I mean, you don't have to be in a law enforcement MOS to sometimes get into that. I have to leave. Love you, and yes, I said love you. I love all of your. Peace out. Stay turtle-rific. That's my catchphrase. Well, that's a cool catchphrase. I like it. Stay turtle-rific, Stella. Chaos, we got to do a video. PSG here, lots of experience. Yeah, maybe. I haven't done any really collab stuff. Well, I guess not really. I mean, I have my friend David, and he has experience with being like 11 Bravo, and we did a live stream together when I was in Texas, because we were there for work and I work with him and stuff. But otherwise, I really haven't done any collab stuff. I don't know what I would do for collabs. I've talked about it before. Like people say that I should like do a collab with like Matt Ward and everything. And I even think some people have said like Art Chisel and everything too. But I don't know what I would do. I'm not really sure what I would do for a collab. But I don't know. I don't know. Gotta go. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and keep up the great work. Well, thanks, Jay the Born. And kind of on that note, I mean, we're already past the 1 hour mark, so we're gonna answer, or I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, maybe like one or two, and then we're gonna have to call this. So make sure if you have a question, leave it in the chat here, and I'll get to a couple of them. But like I said, check out some of those links down below if you're interested in some of that stuff, like the Patreon, you're interested in a t-shirt, or hold off until I go to Amazon if that's what you're kind of waiting on. I'm just kind of waiting to try that out, but I might switch to that. I do have stickers. They're awesome, cool stickers if you are interested in one. All you have to do is send me a self-addressed envelope, preferably with a stamp on it, because it makes it a lot easier to send it back to you. And as long as I still have Chaos stickers, I'll throw a chaos sticker in that envelope and send it back to you. Maybe like a little letter if you want to write me a letter to it. That's always friendly to say, hey, what's up, Chris? I really like your stuff or whatever. Maybe I hate your stuff, but I want a chaos sticker because chaos stickers are cool. Whatever you want to do. That's the address. That's the P.O. box. If you just want to send me a letter in general, or you want to send me, I don't know, a military patch. I don't know. If you want to send me candy, I don't care. Letter, candy, a self-addressed envelope to get a chaos sticker. Everything's cool. Whatever you want to do. That address is also available down in the description. It's also on my website, so if you didn't write that down, not a big deal. Edward, thank you. $1.99 donation. You're awesome. But that address is available down in the link or down in the description, so don't worry if you didn't copy it down while it was on the screen. It is down there in the description down below. So let's do a couple of questions and then we'll wrap this up. All right. What do we got? We got 35 watching, 23 likes. Where are them likes at? I agree. You see 23, I only see 22 likes with 32 people. Some of you that are watching that are not liking the video, I will find out who you are and give you a noogie. Or, I don't know, probably nothing. Let's see, let's check out some questions, do a couple more before we call it off and end the live stream. Can you make a video on the best MOS 19 kilo? I'm sure that one will probably come pretty soon as far as like the MOS Monday. They give some of the basic rundown. I've known actually quite a few 19 kilo tankers, but it wouldn't be super in depth because obviously I was in one, so I can give the information that I easily have access to let people know like what the requirements are, what some of the day-to-day life is like, because I do have some experience with working with 19 kilos, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Eventually, I'll probably do that one. I've gotten quite a few requests, but I've gotten more requests for certain other MOSs that'll probably come first on Military Monday or MOS Monday before I get to 19 kilo. So, happy Thanksgiving to you too, lovable Xena, and who else was saying it? Walter. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. One more question I will do. So the next question I see that catches my eye, it will be the last question for this episode of Chaos Live. And also, make sure you hit that like button before you leave. Before you go, hit that like button. If you're watching this like afterwards and you've gotten this far into the live video and it's not live anymore, you should definitely hit that like button. You're pretty awesome, and I can't believe you hung out for this long and it's not even live. I won't count. Well, so Mr. Up, would you re-enlist or not? I won't count that as last question because that's not a. I mean, I've answered this before. I would not. I wouldn't want to go back in the Army. Here we go. Okay. What are some recommendations on how to survive basic training? I kind of have a video on that too. You should watch the video on 5 mistakes that you can do in basic training. Don't do those things, and that will really help. And I think that would be a good start to surviving basic training. So we'll do one more. What do you call someone who's potentially a cadet? I don't know if there's a special word for that. Is there? I don't think there's a special word for someone who's potentially a cadet. A future cadet? I don't know. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. You guys are awesome. We'll do this again next weekend. Maybe on Saturday. Maybe on Sunday. I need to mix it up a little bit. Maybe next time we'll try to do it on Saturday. It depends though. Is there any UFC fights on Saturday? I don't think so. Maybe Saturday. Maybe Saturday will be the next live stream. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you enable notifications. That way you get the notifications that I'm live streaming. That way you can join in and hang out for it. Possibly look out this week for a gaming live stream, because I might do that. I might get on here and do a little bit of a gaming live stream. I don't know what I'll do. Getting rejected from MEPS. Thank you for the $2.99 donation. Now I have to answer. Is that a question? Because you donated, I gotta hit you up with this. Are you talking about like what happens if you get rejected from MEPS? And that sucks. Hopefully you can try again. But I don't know what you can do. I don't know if there's a whole lot you can do if you get rejected from MEPS. I don't know. But thank you for the $2.99 donation. If that was a question, I don't know if it was a statement or if it was a question. But if you did get rejected from MEPS, I'd imagine it'd be tough to come back in the Army or to get into the Army. So, but anyways, hey, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll come back next weekend. Look for a gaming live stream. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Hit that like button. If you're new and you've not subscribed to the channel and you're not sure, maybe check out some of my videos or just hit that subscribe button anyways. whatever you want to do to make that decision. But hopefully, hopefully you enjoyed hanging out with me. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.